Could this moment represent a turning point for peace in Ukraine, or just another diplomatic dead end? Calls for an immediate ceasefire took center stage in Washington, as French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz rallied behind urgent efforts to halt fighting and insisted that only direct talks involving the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine could truly make a difference. During a highly watched gathering with U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky, Chancellor Merz didn't mince words about the high stakes. He argued that the entire legitimacy of ongoing diplomatic negotiations hinges on reaching at least a temporary halt to hostilities soon. If the next round of talks fails to achieve a ceasefire, can we really say diplomacy is working? Merz asked, pressing for the upcoming meeting to occur in a format that placed the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia face-to-face at the negotiating table. But here's where it gets controversial. Would a ceasefire, without a larger enforceable agreement, just freeze the conflict or open the door to real progress? Macron, echoing Merz's sense of urgency, said that securing even a basic truce was not just desirable, but absolutely vital for preserving lives and credibility. He suggested that the trilateral format is the only serious path forward, adding, "Everyone present supports peace, bringing the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia together is critical. Without this, what chance is there for resolution?" Macron went even further with his vision, proposing that these talks should eventually broaden into an even larger format, pulling in more European actors to address long-term security and stability, not just for Ukraine, but for the whole continent. And this is the part most people miss. Macron and Merz both highlighted that any lasting settlement would need strong security guarantees for Ukraine, alongside renewed commitments from European partners and NATO, not just vague promises. President Trump, participating in the discussion with other top European leaders, agreed that a swift ceasefire is in everyone's interest. "We would all prefer an immediate stop to the fighting, and I think it's possible. Though it's not happening yet," Trump remarked, suggesting ultimately the decision rests with Presidents Zelensky and Putin. Trump's comments hint at possible behind-the-scenes momentum, but also underscore how fragile the current situation remains. But does calling for trilateral talks sufficiently address the deep-rooted tensions, or is it another step in an endless cycle of negotiations? Some may wonder whether expanding the talks to include more of Europe, Macron's suggestion, will help or simply complicate matters. Others, meanwhile, may argue that even proposing negotiations with Russia risks undermining Ukraine's position and security. So what do you think? Is an urgent ceasefire through trilateral negotiations achievable and the right way forward? Or does it overlook tougher questions about accountability and lasting security? Can Europe truly guarantee Ukraine's safety? Or will these promises end up as diplomatic platitudes? Join the conversation. Do you agree with the call for expanded talks, or do you see flaws in this approach?